Hey guys, I'm going to try to solve the try it problem from chapter 23. These are numbers 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. For the purposes of this video, I'm only going to solve 7, 8, and 9 just to keep it short, and I'll do a subsequent video that solves 10, 11, and 12. So let's go ahead and take a look at the problem. Tipton Company manufactures shirts. During June, Tipton made 1,200 shirts and gathered the following additional data, and here you can see the data. If you look closely at the data, the first four lines talk about direct material cost standard, direct materials efficiency standard, actual amount of fabric purchased, actual cost of fabric purchased. So all of these four are talking about materials, fabric, materials. These four are talking about labor, direct labor, costs, direct labor efficiency, actual amount of direct labor hours, actual cost of direct labor. So we're going to ignore these bottom four numbers for the purposes of this video because they have nothing to do with questions 7, 8, and 9. So we'll just focus on these four values. And if you remember from class, in order to solve these type of questions that ask calculate the following variances, direct material cost variance, you need to know the formulas, which are AC minus SC times AQ. So for clarity's sake, I wrote these values down here just so we can write them down. As we solve them, I'll put the values in the boxes, and then we'll plug them back in up here and then solve the problem as we go, just to make it clear. So some of these values are given in the problem. So let's go ahead and write in the values that are given. So the first line says direct materials cost standard. So right there it says cost standard or standard cost. So I'm going to write in $6 for that value. Okay. The next line says efficiency standard. There's no such thing as efficiency standard, so that value is not given to us. It's not one of these. We'll have to use it elsewhere. Actual amount of fabric purchased. Well, right there it says actual, and then fabric purchased is a quantity, so that's actual quantity right there. 1680. And it doesn't give us a standard quantity either. We're going to have to find that value later. So we have our two givens. Let's go ahead and start solving for the direct materials cost variance in number 7. So in order to solve the direct material cost variance, use that formula, but first we need to know the actual cost. So what is the actual cost? Well, let's go down here and it says direct materials cost standard. No, that's not actual cost. Direct materials efficiency standard. No, that's not actual cost. Actual amount of fabric purchased. Okay, that's actual something, but it's not the cost. Actual cost right here. So actual cost, let's go ahead and take that value and we'll write that in. 10,500. Now, the reason why we have to divide this is because we need to know that's the cost, but we have to know on a per yard basis. So we take the cost and we divide it by the number of yards, and the number of yards are 1,680. So let's go ahead and write that in, and then I'll compute the value in Excel. Equals 10,500 divided by 1680, and hit enter, and right away we get $6.25. So that $6.25 will go here into the actual cost, 6.25. Now looking at these two numbers, $6 versus 6.25, is another way to check to make sure that we divided by the right number and the calculation is correct, because our standard cost, $6, should be close, some proximity to our actual cost, $6.25, which it is. We did have one problem in class that was way off, but it's not going to be 1,680. It's not going to be that far off. So we know based on 6 and 625 that we're on the right track. So let's go ahead and move on to the next part of the problem. Now that we have AC, SC, and AQ, AC, SC, and AQ, we can go ahead and fill out the whole formula and solve for number 7. So let's go ahead and do that. So AC is 625. I'll put this in parentheses. Minus $6 multiply times 1680. And that equals, I'm going to copy this so I don't have to type it again. That equals $420. Now we have to make a determination, is this $420 favorable or is this $420 unfavorable? So we need to look at, did we pay more than standard or did we pay less than standard? So our actual cost is $625. Our standard was 6. We are over, so that means that's unfavorable. So I'll put unfavorable there. Okay, now let's move on to number 8. Calculate the following variances: direct materials efficiency variance. So now we're going to look at the which one of these is talking about efficiency. So right there we see the second line says direct materials efficiency standard. So we're going to use this number, the efficiency standard, to calculate the standard quantity. So what would be the standard quantity based on what we used? So in order to calculate that number, we're going to need to know the efficiency standard, which was 1.5 yards per shirt, and how many shirts did we make. So if the standard is 1.5 yards per shirt and we made 1,200 shirts, then our standard would have to be those two numbers multiplied. So let's go ahead and do that. Equals 1.50 times 1,200, and that equals 1.50 times 1,200, 1,800. So our SQ is 1,800. Let's go ahead and write that in. Now we have all of our values. We can solve the entire problem with no problem. So now AQ 1680. Oh, I forgot to mention, just like we did a check here, $6.25 versus $6, 1680 is very close to 1,800. So that is a good indication that we're on the right track. And all we have to do is take the difference between these numbers and then multiply that times the actual numbers, the actual amount that we used, actual cost, pardon me, that it costs. So let's go ahead and do that. AQ is 1680 minus 1,800 multiply times the standard cost right here, cost standard cost times $6. And I'll put that in parentheses just to make it clear. Okay, so that equals, and this is going to be a negative number because the 1680 is smaller than 1,800, so I'm going to put a negative in front just to counteract the negative. 1680 minus 1,800, and I forgot to put the parentheses. Multiplied times $6 is our standard cost, and compute that value, and it's 720. Now we have to make a determination. Is that 720 favorable or is that 720 unfavorable? So let's look at, is our actual quantity above the standard or is our actual quantity below the standard? So here we have 1680, which is less than the standard of 1800, so we're below the standard, so that's favorable. So let's go ahead and put a F there for favorable. Okay, so now, as we did in class, we have to sum these two numbers, and since one is favorable and one is favorable, we have to take the favorable amount, which is larger, and minus the unfavorable amount, and then we'll get the total direct material variance. So that is 720 let me put a $sign here just to make it clear. 720 favorable minus 420 unfavorable, and that should equal $300 favorable. Okay, so it looks like we've solved everything for 7, 8, and 9, and as I said, 10, 11, and 12 are exactly the same. They're solved the same way, and I'll do those in another video. But let's check our answers. You can check your answers at this website if you're doing this by yourself. Just copy that and paste it into your browser. But I happen to have the answers below. So let's take a look at what they say. So for number 7, it says actual cost per year 10,500 divided by 1680, and that's what we did, 10,500 1680, and we got 625 here. We took 625 to minus $6, multiplied that times 1680, and we got 420 unfavorable, and that's what we got for number 7. For number 8, we took the 1.5 yards per shirt. 1.5 yards per shirt, we multiplied that times the number of shirts to find the standard quantity, and we got 1,800 yards. 1,800 right here. We took 1,800 minus that. We took the actual quantity 1680 minus our standard quantity, and we multiplied that times the price, which was $6. $6 right here, and we got 720 favorable. 720 favorable, and then we took these two numbers, 420, 720, and because one is favorable, one is unfavorable, we took the larger amount and put a favorable. So that's the solution to 7, 8, and 9. I hope this helps you guys with the test. I'll also do 10, 11, and 12 in a later video. So good luck, everybody.